Hello, dear students. Welcome to this class where we will be talking about fetal growth restriction. Now, fetal growth restriction is a newer terminology. Earlier, it was called intrauterine growth restriction. Intrauterine growth restriction has the same terminology, which now it is called FGR or fetal growth restriction. So, IUGR used to stand for intrauterine growth restriction. Intrauterine growth restriction. Now, what do you actually mean by fetal growth restriction or intrauterine growth restriction? It means that a fetus is not able to achieve the specific biometric or estimated growth threshold. Means, suppose it is 32 weeks period of gestation. 32 weeks period of gestation. So, the symphysiofundal height that you take mothers from the pubic symphysis till the highest point of the uterus, that is the symphysiofundal height, that should be somewhere around 32 centimeters. It should be somewhere around 32 centimeters. But if there is more than 4 weeks growth lag, that is at 32 weeks, if the symphysiofundal height is less than 28 centimeters, or the fundal height is less than 28 weeks, that is there is 4 weeks growth disparity in the per abdomen examination, then we say that clinically the fetus is looking like FGR, fetally growth restricted, or intrauterine growth restriction. So the definition of fetal growth restriction is that the fetus, a condition in which the fetus is not able to achieve a specific biometric, whether it is biometric means ultrasound guided, or estimated growth threshold, means whatever the growth it should have been in this period of gestation, it has not achieved, then we say it is FGR. Now, FGR is a chapter which is very less likely to be taught in MBBS curriculum. Mostly it is taught in MD curriculum, but questions of course come in NEET PG. So it is very important that you focus in this chapter also. Do not leave this chapter also. Now there are two terminologies which sound similar. One is SGA. SGA is small for gestational age. Small for gestational age. There is a terminology called SGA, and there is another terminology called fetal growth restriction, that is FGR. Okay, fetal growth restriction. So what is the difference between the two? What is SGA and what is FGR? They are not the same. Okay, now coming to SGA. Now suppose today she is 36 weeks period of gestation. So what will be the estimated fetal weight? So we have taken a large data from fetuses all over the world, and they have been charted in a chart which is called the growth chart. We have the growth charts. Okay, so growth charts are available where period of gestation is taken in the x-axis, and the estimated fetal weight, that is the growth of the fetus, or the abdominal circumference, AC, abdominal circumference according to ultrasound, are taken in the y-axis. So customized growth charts have been plotted whereby the median values have been plotted like this. So there are median values, means the 50th centile, and that is the median value. 50th centile is the median value, and most of the fetuses are bound to be in this corresponding period of gestation. This will be the estimated fetal weight or the abdominal circumference. So like this it has been charted. Now 50th centile is the median value, we all know. So besides the median values, we also have charted the first standard deviation and two standard deviation values have also been charted. So between one standard deviation, you already have studied in your statistics classes that plus minus one standard deviation you have almost 67% of the population, and plus minus two standard deviation may you have 95% of the population lying between two standard deviation. So whatever values is below the two standard deviation or above the two standard deviation are considered to be pathological, and all values between plus minus 2 standard deviation, this is minus 2 standard deviation and this is plus 2 standard deviation. So between the plus and minus 2 standard deviation, all these values are said to be normal growth. So if the fetus weight, estimated fetal weight or abdominal circumference is less than minus 2 standard deviation, then you say fetus is SGA, that is small for gestational age. But if the estimated fetal weight or abdominal circumference is more than plus 2 standard deviation, then you say the fetus is LGA, that is large for gestational age. So this answers your question, what is SGA and what is LGA. So always remember, small for gestational age is for that period of gestation, if the estimated fetal weight or abdominal circumference is less than 2 standard deviation, then it is said to be SGA. Whereas if it is macrosomic baby, or the other word for macrosomia is large for gestational age, is when the estimated fetal weight or abdominal circumference of the baby is more than 2 standard deviation. Now the question is, why abdominal circumference is taken? Why not head circumference? Why not other circumference? This is because abdominal obesity, also called as adiposity, is a direct marker of growth. Because if somebody becomes obese, or if the fetus becomes obese, then more and more fat is deposited around the abdomen. So around the abdomen only fat is mostly deposited, and so abdominal circumference keeps on increasing when the baby becomes obese. Okay, so that is why abdominal circumference is always taken as a marker of growth, as a surrogate marker of growth. So what do you mean by SGA? SGA means the estimated fetal weight or the abdominal circumference is less than 2 standard deviation from the normal. Okay, but SGA babies can be physiological also, and can be pathological. Now let us understand this concept. How can it be physiological? Suppose in some families, babies are always small. The mother's height is also small. The father's height is also small. So the baby will also be small. So it can be physiological is because of constitutional growth lag. There can be constitutional growth lag in the fetus or the baby, which can lead to physiological SGA. So physiological SGA means nothing has to be worried. So you have to take a proper history. In the history and examination, you will find that mother's herself height is very small, father's height is also small. So that is why baby might have been SGA. So it is physiological, constitutional growth lag. But it can be pathological also, because suppose the mother is malnourished and much protein and all these deficiencies there, then baby can be pathologically very small. Or mother may be a smoker, or she might be having preeclampsia, because of which blood supply is very less. So it can be a cause of pathological SGA. So how do we differentiate between physiological and pathological SGA? You have to do Doppler of the blood vessels, Doppler study of the blood vessels. So if the blood flow to the fetus is reduced, then it means it is a pathological cause of SGA. Because ब्लड फ्लो कम होने के वजह से अगर बच्चे का ग्रोथ कम है तो वो हमेशा पैथोलॉजिकल होता है. तो द ओनली मार्कर that helps us in differentiating between physiological SGA and pathological SGA is by doing a Doppler in the baby. Doppler करेंगे, अब कौन से वेसल में करेंगे और क्या Doppler करेंगे, that I am going to tell you in detail. So basic ये याद रखना है कि हम blood vessels, बच्चे के blood vessel का Doppler स्टडी करेंगे ये देखने के लिए कि blood flow कम हो रहा है कि नहीं. अगर ब्लड फ्लो कम हो रहा है तो कॉज ऑफ एसजीए इज ऑलवेज पैथोलॉजिकल. अगर डॉपलर फ्लो नॉर्मल है, ब्लड वेसल्स ब्लड सही से पहुंच रहा है लेकिन फिर भी बच्चा छोटा है, देन दिस विल बी कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल ग्रोथ लैग एंड इट विल बी फिजियोलॉजिकल. ओके, सो क्लियर, यहाँ तक क्लियर हो गया. ओके, सो बेसिकली योर एसजीए इज लेस देन 2 स्टैंडर्ड डिविएशन और less than 10 centile or less than 10 centile. Remember, less than 10 centile is SGA. 10 centile is taken as the basic cutoff and Doppler study is always normal. Okay, Doppler findings are always normal, then they are called SGA. Now coming to FGR. Next, let us come to FGR. Before studying FGR, now FGR में हमेशा याद रखना है कि estimated fetal weight or abdominal circumference is less than 10 centile, of course less than 10 centile, वो तो छोटा होगा ही, plus there will be Doppler abnormality, plus there will be Doppler abnormality. Doppler abnormality is must to tell that it is FGR because FGR या fetal growth restriction is pathological SGA. Pathological SGA is also called FGR. Okay, so ये जो pathological part है SGA का, that is only FGR. So FGR और fetal growth restriction या फिर IUGR intrauterine growth restriction is a subset of SGA. SGA can be physiological as well as pathological. If you exclude the constitutional growth lag, then rest of it is FGR. ठीक है, अब समझ में आ गया difference between SGA and FGR. Okay, this can be physiological or pathological. FGR is always pathological. So in this chapter we are going to study all the pathological causes of small baby or small fetus. Okay, now before studying FGR, let us study what are Dopplers. Dopplers क्या क्या Dopplers कौन कौन से blood vessels में Dopplers करते हैं, let us study that in detail. Then you will understand FGR very properly. Okay, number one, what are the blood vessels? Blood vessels in which Dopplers are done. Number one, the most commonly done is umbilical artery. Okay, umbilical artery. Umbilical artery is very much accessible because if you consider this to be the uterus, this is the baby. Okay, so this is the placenta. So umbilical blood vessels easily मिल जाता है आपको, अल्ट्रासाउंड में मिल जाता है and you have to just focus on the umbilicus. Now always remember, umbilicus has 2 arteries and 1 vein. 2 arteries and 1 vein. Okay, so this appearance is called the Mickey Mouse sign. Mickey Mouse sign, very important. रेडियोलॉजी से क्वेश्चन आता है, मिकी माउस साइन. व्हाट इज मिकी माउस साइन? बेसिकली this looks like the Mickey Mouse face. So 2 arteries and 1 vein, because one of the veins it obliterates. So the vein is very much big and the 2 arteries are small. Okay, arteries में जो blood जा रहा है वो red color का दिखता है in ultrasound. Okay, red color comes in Doppler and vein का जो blood color है that is away from the probe, so it gives a blue color to the probe. So like this it will be visible in the ultrasound. Okay, so you focus your Doppler on the umbilical artery. Okay, this can be seen. Apart from that, in very early gestation age, umbilical artery Dopplers are very much good and they can be visualized after 24 to 26 weeks. 24 to 26 weeks बाद बच्चा अच्छे से मेच्योर हो जाता है, umbilicus grow कर जाता है and umbilical artery Doppler is mostly done. But in very early gestation, that is less than 18 to 20 weeks. Okay, 20 weeks से पहले अगर आपको अल्ट्रासाउंड कराना है तो बच्चे छोटे होते हैं and umbilical vessels are also very small. In that case, it is very difficult to focus on this place. So we generally focus on uterine arteries. दोनों uterine arteries आ रहे हैं साइड से. Uterine artery Doppler can be done in at less than 18 to 20 weeks. So uterine artery Dopplers can be done in very early gestation age, early second trimester they are done. The third Doppler which is tried is middle cerebral artery. Okay, middle cerebral artery. So middल cerebral artery का दो टाइप ऑफ डॉपलर्स हम कर सकते हैं, ठीक है. वन इज पीक सिस्टोलिक वेलोसिटी. मिडल सेरेब्रल आर्टरी पीक सिस्टोलिक वेलोसिटी कहाँ पे हम करते हैं? RH आइसोइम्यूनाइज्ड women में. RH आइसोइम्यूनाइज्ड आई हैव taught you in my RH आइसोइम्यूनाइजेशन क्लास. ओके, मिडल सेरेब्रल आर्टरी का पीक सिस्टोलिक वेलोसिटी करते हैं. If it was more than 1.5 multiples of median, then it is an indication that there is fetal anemia and we go for intrauterine transfusion. Intrauterine transfusion दे रहे थे. That was peak systolic velocity of middle cerebral artery. The other thing which we can do is middle cerebral artery pulsatility index. PI is pulsatility index. So middle cerebral artery pulsatility index is done in FGR fetuses to distinguish between FGR and SGA. मतलब पैथोलॉजिकल है कि नहीं वो देखने के लिए हम PI लेते हैं. PI is pulsatility index. Remember pulsatility index. And the fourth artery that we the vein that we see, one venous Doppler is also taken, is ductus venosus. Ductus venosus waveform is also seen. Okay, ductus venosus में कैसा waveform होता है? There is a wave. Initially there is an A wave. Okay, A wave आता है followed by a V wave. Okay, then X descent and Y descent. Okay, X descent, Y descent, ये सब आता है in this thing, ductus venosus. Okay, so ductus venosus is just like your जुगुलर वीनस प्रेशर. जुगुलर वीनस प्रेशर के तरह JVP का जो वेव फॉर्म होता है वैसा ही, बिकॉज जुगुलर वेन इज कम्स फ्रॉम योर द अपर एक्सट्रीमिटीज. ओके, बट लोअर एक्सट्रीमिटी का जो इन्फीरियर वेना कवा दैट कम्स फ्रॉम डक्टस वेनोसस. सो सेम वेव फॉर्म आता है. सो बेसिकली द मोस्ट widely studied is your umbilical artery. So umbilical artery Doppler हम और डिटेल में पढ़ लेते हैं, ठीक है. So when you focus on the umbilical arteries, you focus with your ultrasound probe on the umbilical artery. So what happens is, and you put the Doppler, तो क्या आता है? Dopplers ऐसे वैल्यूज आते हैं, ठीक है. Doppler will look like this. There will be a systole and a diastole. Systole, ऐसे ब्लड फ्लो आता है, ठीक है. Whenever पेशेंट का आप डालते हो डॉपलर तो ऐसा वैल्यू आता है, ठीक है. इट मीन्स कि जब सिस्टोल होता है तब वो पीक पे रहता है ब्लड फ्लो, एंड ड्यूरिंग द डायस्टोल इट कम्स टू अ बेसल पॉइंट. But blood flow is never zero. It is never touching this baseline. So in diastole also there is blood flow to the fetus, and systole में तो maximum blood flow होता ही है to the fetus. This is very important. This should never touch zero. Okay, मतलब diastole में भी forward flow होना चाहिए. But as patient become pre-eclamptic, जैसे जैसे patient का pre-eclampsia होता है या फिर एथेरोस्क्लेरोसिस होता है तो ब्लड वेसल्स क्या होता है? स्टिफ हो जाता है. प्री एक्लेम्सिया वाले पेशेंट्स में आई टोल्ड यू दैट देयर इज डिफेक्टिव ट्रोफोब्लास्टिक इन्वेजन होता है तो ब्लड वेसल्स क्या हो जाता है? ब्लड वेसल का वॉल डायलेट हो जाता है, बिकॉज आई टोल्ड यू ट्यूनिका मीडिया was not able to contract. जब ट्यूनिका मीडिया कॉन्ट्रैक्ट नहीं हो पा रहा था तो ब्लड वेसल्स डायलेट हो रहे थे तो फ्लो वॉज इंक्रीजिंग. फ्लो अगर इंक्रीज कर रहा है तो डॉपलर में सिस्टोल एंड डायस्टोल ऐसे हो जाएगा. मतलब डायस्टोल में भी देर विल बी वेरी मच हाई फ्लो. दिस इज द टाइम वर्सेस फ्लो ग्राफ इज योर डॉपलर. बट इन प्री एक्लेम्शिया में क्या होता है? और एथेरोस्क्लेरोसिस में बेसिकली योर blood vessels become stiff and they are hard, so blood flow to the organs decreases. So what happens is systole तो ठीक है, डायस्टोल में धीरे धीरे फ्लो ज़ीरो हो जाता है, डायस्टोल में फ्लो ज़ीरो हो जाता है. ओके, सो दिस सेज दैट द फ्लो इन द डायस्टोल हैज़ बिकम ऑलमोस्ट ज़ीरो. मतलब बच्चे को डायस्टोल के टाइम पे मदर का जो डायस्टोल है तब ब्लड नहीं पहुंच रहा है. तो लेस एंड लेस ऑफ ब्लड सप्लाई ऑकर्स टू द फीटस. When there is less and less of blood supply to the fetus, then fetus धीरे धीरे hypoxia में चला जाता है, and this is the cause of hypoxia. Okay, so to measure the diastolic flow, we have some parameters in Doppler. What are the parameters? Number one is S by D ratio. S by D ratio, that is systole by diastolic ratio. Okay, means systole में कितना flow है, by diastole में कितना flow है. Now see, this is the normal Doppler. Suppose this is the normal Doppler. Okay, जैसे जैसे पेशेंट का ब्लड फ्लो कम होता जाएगा, पेशेंट बिकम्स मोर एंड मोर प्री एक्लेम्प्टिक, तब क्या हो जाएगा, डायस्टोल में धीरे धीरे फ्लो कम हो गया. ओके, एंड देन और ज़्यादा ख़राब हो जाएगा तो फिर डायस्टोल में फ्लो एकदम ज़ीरो हो जाएगा. ओनली इन द सिस्टोल दैट द ब्लड इज रीचिंग. सो व्हाट हैपन्स इज S by D रेशियो, दैट इज़ द सिस्टोल बाय डायस्टोल रेशियो जो है वो धीरे धीरे बढ़ता जाएगा. S by D keeps on increasing, S by D keeps on increasing because your D diastole is decreasing. तो अगर S by D है एंड जैसे जैसे प्री एक्लेम्शिया होगा आपका डायस्टोल धीरे धीरे कम होता जाएगा, तो ओवरऑल डिनोमिनेटर कम हो रहा है, देन योर न्यूमरेटर इंक्रीजेस. So S by D increases. So what happens is, if S by D is increased, S by D is increased, it means that there is less blood flow to the fetus. Less blood flow to the fetus. Less blood flow to the fetus. Very, very important concept I am explaining to you. Listen this properly, because this, if you understand, then almost all concept of FGR you will understand. I guarantee you nobody will teach you like this. So please listen to this class. This is a very important class. Okay. So less blood flow to the fetus occurs when S by D increases. Okay. Now if the diastolic flow is zero, धीरे धीरे क्या होगा, जब बहुत ज़्यादा रेजिस्टेंस हो जाएगा तो diastolic blood flow will be zero. Now when diastole is zero, diastolic blood flow is zero, this condition is called AEDF. This condition is called AEDF. I will put 3 stars on it. AEDF. ठीक है, AEDF is absent end diastolic flow. Absent end diastolic flow मतलब diastole में end of the diastole there is no flow. Blood flow is zero. Absent end diastolic flow. So AEDF में what will be S by D? What will be S by D? D तो zero हो गया, ठीक है, means S by zero. It means S by D is infinity. S by D is infinity. अभी तक क्या हो रहा था, S by D धीरे धीरे बढ़ रहा था. इट मीन्स कि फ्लो कम हो रहा है, फिर बढ़ते बढ़ते वो अचानक से इन्फिनिटी, इतना ज़्यादा वैल्यू पहुंच गया जब डायस्टोलिक वैल्यू इज़ ज़ीरो. ओके, सो सिंस ये इन्फिनिटी पहुंच जाता है तो इट इज़ वेरी डिफ़िकल्ट टू हैव अ वैल्यू फॉर इन्फिनिटी. सो देयरफॉर S by D इज़ अ लेस रिलायबल मार्कर. लेस रिलायबल मार्कर, ये एक लेस रिलायबल मार्कर है, क्योंकि जैसे ही ब्लड फ्लो बच्चे का ज़ीरो हो जाता है डायस्टोल में, S by D value becomes infinity and you cannot give a specific number to this value. That is why it is less commonly used. Now the second marker which is used is resistivity index. Resistivity index. Okay. Now what do you mean by resistivity index? What do you mean by resistivity index? Resistivity index is also called RI. Now RI is calculated by S minus D by S. S minus D by S. S stands for systole and D stands for diastole. Okay. So this is the normal flow and this happens in AEDF. AEDF में ये पूरा फ्लो ज़ीरो हो गया है डायस्टोल में. So normally you have an S systole value, you have a diastolic value also. ठीक है, तो S minus D by S. Now see in AEDF, जब AEDF हो जाता है और ब्लड फ्लो ज़ीरो हो जाता है तो आपका S रेजिस्टिविटी इंडेक्स कितना होगा, S माइनस ज़ीरो बाई S, क्योंकि D तो ज़ीरो हो गया, डायस्टोल ज़ीरो हो गया. ठीक है, तो S minus 0 by S is S by S, that is 1. Okay, so maximum value in AEDF will be 1. And what will be the minimum value? Minimum value can be, ऐसा हो सकता है कि डायस्टोलिक ब्लड फ्लो एकदम सिस्टोल की तरह हो गया. मैक्सिमम ब्लड फ्लो तो ऐसा ही हो सकता है ना कि डायस्टोल में भी एकदम सिस्टोल की तरह ब्लड पहुंच रहा है, तो क्या हो जाएगा, डायस्टोल विल बी लाइक सिस्टोल, तो S minus S by S will be 0 by S, that is 0. So resistivity index ranges from 0 to 1. It ranges from 0 to 1. So this is a good marker. Resistivity index is a good marker क्योंकि वो 0 to 1 के बीच है, उसमें infinity नहीं आता है. The third marker which we see is your pulsatility index. Pulsatility index. Okay, very important, which is also called as PI, which is called the PI. ठीक है, pulsatility index का फॉर्मूला है S minus D by average of S and D. Okay, so S minus D by average. अब वही हम ले लेते हैं कि this is the normal flow and this occurs in AEDF. ठीक है, एंड जो मैक्सिमम फ्लो हो सकता है वो ये हो सकता है कि D एकदम S की तरह पहुंच गया. सो अगर D और S सेम हो गया तो यू विल हैव S माइनस S बाई एवरेज इज S प्लस D बाई 2. S plus D by 2. So S minus S is 0. 0 by something is 0. So minimum value of pulsatility index is 0. Maximum value कितना है AEDF के टाइम पे कितना आएगा, AEDF के टाइम पे it will be S minus D is 0 by you have S plus D by 2. Okay, so it will be 0 0 cut. So 2 into S by S means 2 into 1 is equal to 2. So the value of pulsatility index ranges from 0 to 2. Okay, so this is also a good marker. So RI value ranges from 0 to 1 and PI value ranges from 0 to 2. So out of all these markers SD, RI and PI, they will ask you which is the best marker. So best marker is PI, pulsatility index, because its value ranges from 0 to 2. इसका मतलब मान लो एक स्केल ले लिया मैंने, 1 सेंटीमीटर के अंदर यू हैव 10 मार्किंग. ओके, 10.1 सेंटीमीटर करके. बट उसी को ही अगर मैं अब 2 तक ले लूँ, 0 से लेके 2 तक ले लूँ, दिस मीन्स आई हैव 20 पॉइंट्स इन बिटवीन दिस, 20 पॉइंट्स. सो this, when I take this value, then it can detect even the minutest change in Dopplers. ठीक है, थोड़ा सा फ्लो में चेंज होगा तो इट कैन डिटेक्ट, बिकॉज फॉर द सेम चेंज इट हैज़ मोर वैल्यूज. 0 to 2 के बीच है और ये सिर्फ 0 से 1 के बीच है. सो इट इज़ अ बेटर मार्कर. PI इज़ अ बेटर मार्कर बिकॉज इट कैन डिटेक्ट even the minutest change in blood flow. PI. ठीक है, that is why we always take PI as a marker of your preeclampsia. ठीक है, मैंने बोला था cerebral artery PI लिया था. cerebral artery PI is taken to differentiate between FGR and SGA. Similarly, umbilical artery PI is also considered to be the best marker when we do in umbilical artery. Okay, so clear. Now once you have understood these things, also remember, apart from AEDF, when the blood flow to the fetus reduces even more, then sometimes क्या होता है, आपका सिस्टोल में तो ब्लड फ्लो है ही, डायस्टोल में 0 था तो दैट वाज AEDF. अब डायस्टोल में रिवर्सल फ्लो भी आ जाता है, बहुत और भी गंदा, AEDF से भी गंदा कुछ होता है, तो it is called REDF. REDF is रिवर्स एंड डायस्टोलिक फ्लो, अभी तक एब्सेंट था, अब रिवर्स एंड डायस्टोलिक फ्लो. नाउ व्हाट इट मीन्स कि जब डायस्टोल है तब ब्लड सप्लाई बंद नहीं बल्कि उल्टा ब्लड फ्लो हो रहा है, मतलब फीटस से उल्टा मदर में ब्लड चला जा रहा है डायस्टोल में. सो इट इज़ ओनली इन द सिस्टोल दैट मदर का ब्लड सप्लाई आ रहा है फीटस में. डायस्टोल में तो पूरा उल्टा, फीटस से उल्टा मदर के तरफ चला जा रहा है ब्लड. दिस इज कॉल्ड REDF. REDF इज़ वेरी डेंजरस बिकॉज REDF वाले बेबीज तुरंत IUFD हो जाएगा, इंट्रायूट्राइन फीटल डेथ हो जाएगा. सो यू हैव टू डू एन एमरजेंसी LSCS एज सून एज यू डायग्नोज REDF. REDF डायग्नोसिस पे तुरंत डिलीवरी कराना होता है बाय सिजेरियन सेक्शन, अदरवाइज बेबीज विल डाई बिकॉज बेबी का ब्लड फ्लो उल्टा मदर के तरफ आए जा रहा है इन डायस्टोल, क्योंकि इतना ज़्यादा मतलब ब्लड फ्लो ऑब्स्ट्रक्ट हो रहा है. ठीक है, सो दीज आर फ्यू ऑफ द बेसिक्स विच यू नीड टू नो फॉर डॉपलर्स. ठीक है, नाउ once you have understood the basics, now let us see how do we diagnose FGR. FGR कैसे diagnose करते हो? FGR मैंने बोला है is pathological cause of small for gestational age. So all the pathological SGA. तो SGA का definition क्या था कि estimated fetal weight और AC abdominal circumference was less than 10 centile. less than 10 centile तो है ही, मतलब बच्चा छोटा है, प्लस FGR बोलने के लिए इसमें डॉपलर एबनॉर्मलिटी था. नाउ व्हाट इज द डॉपलर एबनॉर्मलिटी? डॉपलर एबनॉर्मलिटी इज अम्बिलिकल आर्टरी PI शुड बी मोर देन 95th सेंटाइल. पहले ये लिख लो, फिर देन आई टेल यू व्हाट. और यूट्राइन आर्टरी PI more than 95th centile. Okay, 95th centile means 2 standard deviation भी बोल सकते हो. और estimated fetal weight और AC crosses 2 growth centiles. Now see, what do you mean? PI is pulsatility index. Now pulsatility index will increase if the diastolic blood flow decreases. क्योंकि डायस्टोलिक ब्लड फ्लो जैसे जैसे पैथोलॉजिकल होगा एंड डायस्टोलिक ब्लड फ्लो धीरे धीरे डिक्रीज हो जाएगा, तो ये क्या हो जाएगा, डायस्टोल आपके न्यूमरेटर में है, तो डायस्टोल अगर कम हो जाएगा तो ओवरऑल PI will, what will happen? PI will increase. Why PI will increase? See now average. देखो S minus D by S plus D by 2. Okay. So what happens is your as and when, मैंने क्या बोला था, जैसे ही AEDF हो गया, ये 0 हो गया, तो आपका AEDF में your pulsatility index has risen to 2. Okay. Earlier it was 0. तो मिनिमम वैल्यू 0, जैसे जैसे आपका डायस्टोल कम होता जा रहा है आपका ये वाला वैल्यू पल्सेटिलिटी इंडेक्स कीप्स ऑन इंक्रीजिंग. सो इफ द पल्सेटिलिटी इंडेक्स इज मोर देन 95th centile means more than 2 standard deviation, then you say कि umbilical artery PI is abnormal. इसका मतलब डायस्टोलिक फ्लो कम हो रहा है, एंड डायस्टोलिक फ्लो कम हो रहा है, साथ में बच्चा छोटा है, then it is said to be FGR. और अगर umbilical artery नहीं देख पा रहे हो, you can see in uterine artery also. Similarly, uterine artery PI will be more than 95th centile. इसका मतलब आपके diastolic flow in the uterine artery has decreased, and this is also a marker of FGR. Or if you are not able to do Doppler, then you try to see that the estimated fetal weight और AC has crossed 2 growth centiles. मतलब पहले मैंने ग्रोथ लिया था तो मेरा ग्रोथ यहाँ पे था, अब मैंने एक हफ्ते बाद ग्रोथ लिया तो मेरा ग्रोथ यहाँ पे आ गया. आफ्टर 1 week I have done at 32 weeks the growth was here, at 33 weeks the growth is here. So basically it has crossed 1, 2 एंड थ्री ग्रोथ सेंटाइल्स को, 3 लाइन को इसने क्रॉस कर लिया. सो एटलीस्ट अगर 2 ग्रोथ सेंटाइल्स, 2 लाइन्स ये क्रॉस कर जाता है और वो नीचे की तरफ आ जाता है, तब हम बोलेंगे कि उसका ग्रोथ तो छोटा हो गया. इट इज़ FGR. ओके, सो FGR का क्राइटेरिया पता चल गया. दिस इज कॉल्ड द डेल्फी क्राइटेरिया. डेल्फी क्राइटेरिया, वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. What is Delphi criteria for diagnosis of FGR? Delphi criteria is that your estimated fetal weight or AC should be less than the 10th centile and it should have crossed 2 growth centiles. पहले से लेके ये दो, एटलीस्ट 2 या उससे ज़्यादा ग्रोथ सेंटाइल्स क्रॉस करके आएगा, या फिर योर अम्बिलिकल आर्टरी और यूट्राइन आर्टरी PI will be raised more than 95th centile or more than 2 standard deviation, which is because of decreasing diastolic blood flow to the fetus. Okay, so this is the diagnosis of FGR by Delphi consensus. Once you have made the diagnosis, now we come to the risk factors. What are the risk factors of FGR? Why actually risk factors occur? Now risk factors can be divided into your major risk factors for growth restriction of fetus, and minor risk factors. There is no moderate risk factors, major and minor risk factors. Major risk factors are any pregnancy whereby previous pregnancy was also having FGR. पहले बच्चे में भी FGR था, तो इस बार भी बहुत हाई रिस्क है FGR होने का. Then your all the hypertensions in pregnancy, be it preeclampsia, be it severe preeclampsia, be it gestational hypertension, be it chronic hypertension, सारे बच्चों में कम ब्लड पहुंचता है because there is atherosclerosis and there is defective trophoblastic invasion. So these all things will lead to major high risk factor for your FGR. Next is hypertension तो हो गया. Next है diabetes with vasculopathy. Diabetes with vasculopathy. So basically अगर किसी को बहुत long time तक diabetes है, जैसे कि type 1 or type 2 diabetes, type 1 or type 2 diabetes for a very long time, that is pre-gestational diabetes, will lead to the baby having this thing. Okay, so diabetes with vasculopathy, diabetes with vasculopathy is a risk factor for FGR. Okay, then coming to the age, maternal age. अगर maternal age more than 40 years है at the time of pregnancy, then risk of Down syndrome also increases. Risk of Down syndrome is more than 1 in 100. This I have taught you all. Okay, so Down syndrome risk is more than 1 in 100 or 1%. Similarly, your risk factor for preeclampsia also increases, hypertension increases, and your FGR also increases. Then coming to smoking. If a mother is smoking in pregnancy, smoking more than 10 cigarettes in a day, then this will lead to severe FGR in the baby. Okay. Then if the mother is doing daily vigorous exercise in pregnancy, if she is an athlete and she is practicing all sports even during the pregnancy, daily vigorous exercises, then also she is at high risk of giving birth to an FGR fetus. Apart from that, all the medico-surgical disorders like chronic kidney disease in pregnancy, SLE, that is systemic lupus erythematosus, all the autoimmune disorders whereby there is vasculopathy, these all things will lead to FGR in the fetus. Okay, now 2 important markers which help us in knowing that it is FGR or not. One is PAP-A. PAP-A less than 0.4 multiples of median. Okay, what do you mean by PAP-A? Placental associated plasma protein A, PAP-A. Okay, placenta associated plasma protein A. PAP-A is also a marker of Down syndrome, trisomy 21, and it is also a marker of FGR. Okay, so less than 0.4 mom is a marker for FGR. Apart from that, in ultrasound, if you find that in level 2 ultrasound, which is done at 18 to 20 weeks, if you find echogenic bowel, it means that gut is looking more white in ultrasound, whiter than normal, then it is a predictor that baby might be having FGR, as well as it is also a soft marker for Down syndrome or trisomy 21. Okay, because trisomy 21 babies also tend to be FGR, वो भी growth restricted रहते हैं. So these are the high risk factors, that is previous history of FGR, hypertension in pregnancy, diabetes with vasculopathy, age more than 40 years during conception, smoking more than 10 cigarettes in a day, daily vigorous exercise, SLE, CKD, autoimmune disease, PAPE less than 0.4 mom, and ultrasound finding of echogenic bowel. These are high risk factors. What are the minor risk factors that increase risk of having FGR? Is age between 35 to 40 years. Age between 35 to 40 years, this can be a risk factor. Then cigarettes 1 to 10 in a day. More than 10 was a high risk factor, 1 to 10 is a minor risk factor. Then coming to BMI. BMI is very low, less than 18.5, that is patient is underweight. अंडरवेट वालों के भी बच्चा FGR हो जाएगा. ठीक है. Then all the IVF pregnancies, then you have all the multiple pregnancies, that is twins, triplets, क्योंकि जगह ही कम है यूट्रस के अंदर. Okay, so they will also be having FGR. Then intake of caffeine in pregnancy, अगर excessive intake of caffeine या coffee होता है more than 300 milligrams in a day, more than 300 milligrams in a day in the third trimester, then it will also lead to fetal growth restriction. Okay, and the last one is interpregnancy interval. So एक प्रेगनेंसी से लेके दूसरे प्रेगनेंसी का इंटरवल इफ इट इज लेस देन 6 months मीन्स लैक्टेशनल एमेनोरिया के अंदर ही पेशेंट प्रेग्नेंट हो गई, या फिर और इट इज़ मोर देन 60 months, दैट इज़ मोर देन 5 years. दीज आर ऑल्सो रिस्क फैक्टर्स. बहुत ज़्यादा गैप एंड बहुत छोटा गैप between two pregnancies is also a risk factor, minor risk factor for FGR. So the thing is that once you have known the risk factors, so you say agar any one or more risk factors, major risk factors, or 3 or more minor risk factors are present, then you have to screen the patient from 26 to 28 weeks onwards. 26 to 28 weeks onwards, you have to start doing serial अल्ट्रासाउंड डॉपलर फॉर द पेशेंट. डॉपलर कराते रहना है, क्योंकि डॉपलर एबनॉर्मलिटी होगा तब हमें जल्दी डिटेक्ट कर पाएंगे FGR को, क्योंकि डॉपलर के बिना, ब्लड फ्लो एबनॉर्मलिटी के बिना FGR नहीं डायग्नोज हो सकता है, सिर्फ SGA डायग्नोज हो सकता है फ्रॉम पर एब्डोमेन फाइंडिंग्स. ओके, सो सीरियल डॉपलर हैज़ टू बी डन 26 to 28 weeks onwards. नाउ क्वेश्चन है कि 26 to 28 weeks onwards हम मॉनिटर तो कर रहे हैं डॉपलर से, बट हाउ फ्रीक्वेंटली. एक बार मान लो 26 weeks पे कर लिया हमने, नेक्स्ट हमें कब करना है, फॉर मॉनिटरिंग करना है ना, तो नेक्स्ट कब करना है, तो उसके लिए भी क्राइटेरिया है. उसके लिए क्राइटेरिया ये है, व्हाट द क्राइटेरिया सेज इज इफ इट इज़ एन FGR, दैट इज़ fetal weight या फिर AC is less than 10 centile. Okay, less than 10 centile, and Doppler values are not that much abnormal. Dopplers are almost normal. Doppler is almost normal इस टाइम पे. देन हम क्या करेंगे, इसको every 2 weekly we will मॉनिटर देम विथ डॉपलर. टू वीकली डॉपलर कराएंगे. मतलब अगर 26 weeks पे कराएं तो 28 weeks पे डॉपलर कराएंगे, फिर 30 weeks पे डॉपलर कराएंगे, फिर 32 weeks पे, देन 34 weeks पे, 36 weeks पे कराएंगे, एंड फिर हम 37 weeks पे डिलीवर कराते हैं. ऑल द FGRs एंड SGA we will deliver at 37 weeks. Remember this. ठीक है, तो 37 weeks तक every 2 weekly we will be doing the Doppler. Okay. Now, if it is a severe FGR, if it is a severe FGR, सीवियर FGR मतलब बहुत ही ज़्यादा छोटा है बच्चा, मतलब लेस देन थर्ड सेंटाइल, थर्ड सेंटाइल. अब थर्ड सेंटाइल जैसे जैसे हम वैल्यूज़ कम होता जा रहा है, 50th सेंटाइल इज़ द स्टैंडर्ड जितना होना चाहिए. अब 10 सेंटाइल से कम मतलब छोटा, थर्ड सेंटाइल से तो मतलब बहुत ही छोटा है बच्चा. तो अगर सीवियर FGR है देन एवरी वीकली यू विल बी डूइंग डॉपलर. दिस इज़ अ वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट कॉन्सेप्ट विच आई एम टेलिंग. प्रैक्टिकल लाइफ में यही काम आता है. पेशेंट पूछते हैं नेक्स्ट कब आना है, you have to explain to the patient when next I will do the Doppler. Okay, so until and unless you understand this concept, you will be not able to follow patients, and moreover you will not able to answer the questions. So this is what will be questions will be कि next कब follow up पे बुलाना है. तो if it is a severe FGR then weekly we will get Doppler done. Weekly we will get Doppler done until 37 weeks. Okay, now अब FGR तो है ही, साथ में क्या हुआ, देर इज रेस्ड S/D रेशियो. मीन्स अब क्या हुआ, अब हमारा डायस्टोलिक फ्लो कम होता जा रहा है, डायस्टोलिक फ्लो कम होता जा रहा है, और देर इज रेस्ड RI और रेस्ड PI. मतलब आपके डॉपलर सारे वैल्यूज़ बढ़ते जा रहे हैं. इसका मतलब धीरे धीरे क्या हो रहा है, आपके फ्लो कम होता जा रहा है, मतलब डायस्टोल इज रिड्यूस्ड. तो ऐसे कंडीशन में हम एक हफ्ते बाद के लिए वेट नहीं करेंगे. नाउ वी विल कॉल द पेशेंट एवरी 3 days. एवरी 3 days मीन्स ट्वाइस अ वीक वी विल कॉल द पेशेंट. ठीक है, वीक में 2 बार बुलाएंगे पेशेंट को डॉपलर करने के लिए. ट्वाइस अ वीक वी विल गेट द डॉपलर डन एंड वी विल कीप ऑन मॉनिटरिंग. ओके, बट once it becomes AEDF मतलब डायस्टोलिक फ्लो कम होते होते अब एकदम ज़ीरो हो गया, डायस्टोलिक फ्लो ज़ीरो हो गया, देन यू हैव टू डू डेली डॉपलर करके देखोगे कि ये ज़ीरो ही है कि रिवर्स हो गया. क्योंकि रिवर्स हो जाएगा फिर तो बच्चा मर जाएगा, तुरंत उसी समय सिजेरियन करना है. ठीक है, एंड जिस दिन REDF हो जाएगा, जिस दिन रिवर्सल ऑफ फ्लो हो जाएगा, ठीक है, ऐसे हो जाएगा, डायस्टोल में उल्टा ब्लड जा रहा है, देन यू हैव टू गो फॉर अर्जेंट LSCS. अर्जेंट सिजेरियन सेक्शन हैज़ टू बी डन, यू कैन नॉट वेट. अगर AEDF है तो अब ये तो हो गया हमारा फॉलोअप. नाउ व्हेन टू गो फॉर टर्मिनेशन ऑफ प्रेगनेंसी, व्हेन टू गो फॉर cesarean section or NVD. Remember, if it is an FGR, then you have to continue the pregnancy with serial Doppler either 2 weekly or weekly as I have told. Okay, or FGR with deranged Dopplers every 3 days you have to keep doing the Doppler until 37 weeks period of gestation, whereby 37 weeks पे you will go for induction of labor and you will give trial of labor. Okay, मतलब नॉर्मल डिलीवरी इज़ नॉट कॉन्ट्राइंडिकेटेड, नॉर्मल डिलीवरी ट्राई कर सकते हो अनटिल एंड अनलेस देर इज़ केफेलोपेल्विक डिस्प्रपोर्शन और प्लेसेंटा प्रीविया, वो सब नहीं है तो आप 37 वीक्स पे इंडक्शन ऑफ लेबर करना है, बिकॉज 37 वीक्स के बाद IUFD होने का चांसेस बढ़ जाता है. बट एज सून एज डायस्टोलिक फ्लो ज़ीरो हो जाता है, दैट इज़ AEDF हो जाता है, AEDF का 34 वीक्स पे वी टर्मिनेट प्रेगनेंसी बाय emergency LSCS. You have to do cesarean section. AEDF में there is no trial of labor because this baby is already compromised, diastole में flow 0 है, you cannot go for trial of labor. Very very important criteria that you have to go for emergency LSCS. And if it is REDF, then you have to go for urgent LSCS. You have to go for urgent LSCS. Okay. Now this FGR with normal Doppler or decreased diastole but not zero is called stage 1 FGR. Stage 1 FGR. AEDF is called stage 2 FGR. Stage 2 FGR. Stage 2 FGR is AEDF. REDF is stage 3 FGR. स्टेज 3 FGR मतलब FGR तो है लेकिन अब ब्लड फ्लो उल्टा हो रहा है, मदर बेबी से मदर के तरफ जा रहा है. एंड स्टेज 4 FGR, स्टेज 4 FGR मीन्स कि Ductus venosus waveform is also abnormal. Ductus venosus waveform is also abnormal. मतलब आर्ट्रियल फ्लो, सारे आर्टरी के फ्लो, अम्बिलिकल आर्टरी का फ्लो तो गड़बड़ है ही, साथ में डक्टस वेनोसस का फ्लो भी एबनॉर्मल हो रहा है. मतलब डक्टस वेनोसस इज ऑल्सो शोइंग अ waveform which is abnormal. This means a wave reversal. A wave reversal is occurring in ductus venosus. This is stage 4 FGR. So this staging of FGR is also called Barcelona staging. Barcelona staging of FGR. Barcelona staging of FGR. Barcelona staging or classification is telling about the stage based outcomes. Stage based outcomes. Stage based outcomes. So remember, in stage 1 normal delivery ka trial can be given, but stage 2, stage 3 and stage 4 you have to go for LSCS. Stage 1 normal delivery induction of labor is done at 37 weeks. Stage 2 emergency LSCS is done at 34 weeks. Stage 3 and stage 4 you have to go for urgent LSCS. You cannot wait, otherwise baby will die. So this is the management and follow up of FGR. Also remember, when you have an FGR, a case of FGR, you always have to do a daily biophysical profile for the patient. What actually do you mean by biophysical profile? Very, very important. Biophysical profile. Biophysical profile is done by 5 parameters. 5 parameters are there which talks about biophysical profile. Number 1, and biophysical profile is a combination of ultrasound plus NST, non-stress test. That is, ultrasound we do and non-stress test is done. Coming to ultrasound, in ultrasound what do we see? Ultrasound mein there are 5 parameters. When you look at the baby, you first check the fetal movements. Okay, fetal movements. So fetal movements are fine or not. Okay, so for fetal movements you wait for 10 to 15 minutes and check whether the limbs are expanding, that is contracting and relaxing or not. Okay, then you also see the fetal breathing movements. Fetal breathing movements are important, and this can be seen from the movement of the diaphragm up and down is seen. Number 3, we check for the fetal tone. So the muscles, not the muscles, basically the limbs you have to see whether limbs are flexing and extending or not. If the limbs are flexing, it means the tone of the fetus is good. Then the fourth thing which we see is the liquor. For liquor, we do either the amniotic fluid index or we see the single deepest pocket of liquor. So the vertical deepest pocket is taken. These are the 4 parameters which we take in ultrasound, and the 5th parameter is NST. Whether NST is reassuring or not. Or non-reassuring. If all the parameters are okay, if movements are found, if fetal breathing movements are found, if fetal tone is okay, liquor is also good, that is AFI is normal between 5 to 25 centimeters and single deepest pocket is 2 to 8 centimeters is normal. If all are okay, NST is also reassuring, then we give 2 marks for each. Total point is 10. So 10 out of 10 we can get. If biophysical profile is okay, it means baby is all right. If there is some abnormality, then you give score 1. If there is no fetal movement found or no breathing movements, no fetal tone, then you give 0. So the lowest mark will be 0 and the highest mark will be 10. Okay, so if the biophysical profile is between 8 to 10 out of 10, then you say baby is normal, baby is fine, nothing to be done. If it is 6 or if it is 4, then you have to go for resuscitation, uterine resuscitation with oxygen, left lateral position, IV fluids you have to do, and you have to plan for termination of pregnancy. So biophysical profile is a very important parameter for FGR fetuses also, because it tells about fetal compromise. So the first parameter to get deranged is fetal breathing movements. If fetal breathing movements and fetal tone are the first parameters are deranged, then you say कि बेबी धीरे धीरे दिक्कत हो रहा है. वो सबसे पहले डिरेंज होता है इवन बिफोर एनएसटी बिकम्स नॉन रीअश्योरिंग. एनएसटी रीअश्योरिंग रहते रहते भी अगर FGR fetuses में compromise है, then fetal breathing movement and tone will go. So this is what is very important. Okay. So this is how we monitor FGR fetuses. When do we terminate FGR fetuses is based on Barcelona staging, and of course all the staging and everything of fetuses and how frequently you do Doppler. These all things are actually important in FGR fetuses, and this is how we manage it. I hope you have understood the class. Also remember कि if you have an FGR fetus, अगर growth retardation या SGA fetus मिल रहा है clinically, then always try to confirm the dating of the patient. Confirm the dating of the patient. कभी कभी ऐसा होता है कि पेशेंट रॉन्ग LMP बताता है, एंड रॉन्ग LMP से वी कैलकुलेट द रॉन्ग जेस्टेशनल एज. सो पेशेंट शुड बी श्योर ऑफ हर डेट्स. Patient should be sure of her dates. Number 1, she should be sure of her dates. Number 2, she should be doing urinary pregnancy test in first 7 days of missing period. First 7 days of missing period. These history are very important. First 7 days. This what I am telling is very important. How do you ensure that dating is correct? Dating of pregnancy is correct. One is she should be sure of her dates. Urinary pregnancy test should have been done in first 7 days of missing periods. Then previous 6 cycles should be regular, should have been regular. Prior to becoming pregnant, her first 6 cycles, previous 6 cycles should have been regular. Okay, she should not be taking no history of OC pills intake, because OC pills are people tend to take in PCOS. So no history of PCOS, because PCOS में the cycles are irregular and patient का LMP पता नहीं रहता है. And ultrasound in the first trimester, dating ultrasound, first trimester ultrasound should have been done at less than 9 weeks period of gestation, and the disparity should be less than 5 days. 5 days का डिस्पैरिटी से कम होगा, या फिर अगर 9 to 16 वीक्स में फर्स्ट अल्ट्रासाउंड कराया है तो डिस्पैरिटी शुड हैव बीन लेस देन 7 days. सो ये सारे अगर क्राइटेरिया फुलफिल होता है देन वी से कि डेटिंग इज करेक्ट. इसके बावजूद भी अगर फंडल हाइट इज लेस देन द पीरियड ऑफ जेस्टेशन, देन यू से 4 weeks का डिस्पैरिटी अगर है देन यू से इट इज SGA. एंड साथ ही साथ उस समय अल्ट्रासाउंड कराना ज़रूरी है to see the Doppler. अगर Doppler में भी abnormality है then you say it is FGR. अगर Doppler's normal है then this is only SGA. Okay, so similarly you will follow up the patients. So thank you for listening to the class, and I hope you have understood. Any doubt anytime you can call me up and ask me the doubts. Thank you so much.